are listening to your brain on air. The program will begin shortly. Enjoy. Slušate svoj mozak uživo. Program će uskoro početi. Uživajte.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Your Brain on Air. I am your host, Ollie Vogt-Larson. And Domestic Violence Friday, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot wait. Taylor, Frankie Paul. She's my favorite queen. She is ready to throw chairs, and ladies and gentlemen, she's not ready to throw hands at her boyfriend. She'll hit her child with a chair accidentally and keep tossing. You can hear the baby crying like a little bitch in the video, by the way. I'm just saying this, ladies and gentlemen. This kid needs to calm down. Your mother has never thrown a chair at your head accidentally because she was trying to yell at her boyfriend and hit him. Calm down. Mommies can't all be perfect. This feels very anti-women. To cancel this woman over such a human mistake, it feels very anti-women. Honestly, to take her show away from her just because she beats up her boyfriends and hits her daughter, allegedly. Guys, believe all women, all of them, because they're all steady of mind and body. They apparently, I've heard this, and apparently it's true, scientists have informed me, their periods make them purveyors of justice and truth, rather than explosive, sensitive pseudo-children at the current state of mind. It's like, this is, according to modern science, their mental state is not diminished to any extent. It is not they exhibit extreme amounts of responsibility and accountability at the times. Your brain, when your uteral lining is being shed, actually becomes a decisive and perfect system. It's not prone to mood swings, none of that. It actually makes you better. Guys, we all know that men can't be abused, right? Women can never be the abusers. They can never be the ones to do anything wrong. That's why with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, everybody, literally the whole society, they went, oh, we don't know their personal lives. We can't make judgments from the outside. But with Sonny and Cher, for some reason, we all go, oh, what a piece of shit. I'm glad he skied into a tree and I'm glad Cher is free. For some reason, when women are the aggressors or the abusers, society as a whole goes, it takes two to tango, and what he was doing, what did he do to make her behave in that kind of a way? That's like a leverage and excuse that we hand over to women abusers, unfortunately, frequently. That we can't fathom a world where women can be cruel or, rude without reason. But ladies and gentlemen, if you lived on this world longer than 4 minutes, I think as a child you figured out pretty quickly, both of the genders are capable of their fair share of cruelty. The men are just a little more physically direct. I'm just going to be honest with you. If they don't like you, more often than not, they'll just flat out let you know they don't like you. Unless they're a gay man, in which case, if they have a little bit more of the feminine touch to their anger, they're going to sit on things, they're going to stew, they're going to make plots and plans in the background. It's going to be it's going to be very Sex in the City, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to be honest with you. I was one of those individuals where it's I didn't like to let shit go for some reason. When something bad happened to me, when someone crossed me in some way, I would sit on it for a while, and I'd be like, what am I going to do to make this person's life a little bit more difficult? You know what I mean? I'm just going to be honest with you. No human being, regardless of your gender, women or men, we are not perfect, exalted, ethereal beings. You know what I mean? Women are not these people who just create life. They sit in rivers and shit. Men are not these perfect soldiers that are all devised to make. They're not all Renaissance men. Let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen. You've met many men in your life, likely. And every man in their life is taught to be a Renaissance man, have many interests, be exalted in knowledge, have a lot of worldly experience, travel as much as you can, experience the world around you, learn, try to engineer, try to manufacture new things. Every man is taught that this is a prime example of what to be and what to move towards. And honestly, bettering yourself and the world around you it's not even a purely man-oriented thing. Women should also strive for this. You can see this throughout history. But what I'm saying is that this is a very peddled to men image. You know what I mean? If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. What I'm trying to say is every man is taught that they should be a Renaissance man. Unless, of course, you didn't grow up in that sort of environment. I understand everybody has their own personal experiences. This is the societal demand, though, which is you should try to better yourself and the people around you. We all know that most, if not the, I'm going to say most men, they are ne'er-do-wells. They are, people who can't be bothered to shave in the morning. They're scratchy. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. What I'm trying to say is that most men fall below what the good standard is for what a man should be. They should be Plato-like. They should be, learners. They should be, very, very. I think the prime example of what a man can be is like an Alexander the Great. You know what I mean? You conquer things around you. You better your society. It doesn't necessarily matter what happens to other societies in the meantime. What you're trying to do is establish something for yourself and the people around you. But then you will be revered by time and history and by those people. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that's the gold standard. Every man wants to be carved out of marble one day. And that is just not most men's trajectories. Most men are going to be sitting in parking lots on their lunch break and, at maybe 35, working at the same place, you know what I mean? Thinking, God damn, what am I doing here? I'm stuck in fucking Steelbrook, let's call it Kansas. Steelbrook, Kansas, and I'm working at this fucking place. I listen to podcasts every other day to make myself feel like I'm learning something, but otherwise the most that I have to look forward to is a gas station hop. You know what I mean? You head on over, you get one of those warm egg and cheese kind of sandwiches. And then that's the one thing that warms your soul for a meantime. Meanwhile, you fill the rest of the void with video games, with sports, with technology, with your phone, with other things. Men are just, they're in a not great state as of late, and women are not either. I'm just going to say it. Women are on a bad trajectory when it comes to yes, they're doing better in college. They're getting into university at higher rates. They're actually propping themselves up for better futures. They're getting higher paying jobs and whatnot. Men in general, they're lagging behind a little bit, mostly because of their own choices, mostly because of their own personal behavior, mostly because they have no prime examples of what being a decent man looks like. Most of them don't have fathers. I'm just going to be honest with you. What is the current fatherless home rate? What is the current fatherless home rate? Okay, currently, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, 1 in 4, roughly 18 to 25 million children under 18 in the U.S. live without a father at home. This includes children of a single mother household, as well as those living with cohabitant parents, grandparents, or other arrangements without a biological step or adoptive father. Wowie wow. Roughly 80% of single-parent homes are led by mothers. What I'm trying to say, I'm not trying to come down on the mothers and say that they're making the mistakes here, I'm coming down on the men to some extent because actually both of them have something to learn from this because in general, the freedom of sexuality, chasing pleasure over whatever, having a child and then going, we'll plan our life around the child. You know what I mean? We can't plan the child around our life. We're gonna have the kid first, and then we're just gonna figure it out later. That is never a great model for living, quite frankly. Sure, it works out. Sure, you end up if you're satisfied with the little things in life. I understand that you can make it very happy living in a nice little cottage on the edge of town with your 6 kids and your husband, and you're like, man, I actually turned out pretty decent. You know what I mean? My kids they seem very happy. My husband is happy. We're happy. What matters is that we're all happy. I would say I understand. This is a fine future for you. You could have done this in a nicer house. You could have done this in like a 14 bedroom. What I'm trying to say is your water pressure is garbage. What I'm trying to say is that your water quality is garbage. Look at your children's hair. Look at it. It's all frizzy and shit. Look at the laundry that you guys do every day. It's getting stained orange because your water quality is garbage. You live in a shit area. Let's move you to another zone. What I'm trying to say, and don't go to Minneapolis. Don't move anywhere near the Mississippi River. It's getting contaminated with fucking plants. It's getting Ganges. You know what I mean? It's getting Ganges, the river that in India, where it's very sacred to the Hindus. I believe they like bathe themselves in it every year or something. It's actually a very filthy river where I watched this documentary. It's very fascinating. I put this on when me and my fiance are eating dinner. She hates the shit out of it. I'm sorry. My fiance will love that I'm talking about this because it's a fun story, but I love Vice documentaries. I love just like political things. One time we were eating dinner and I just put on like what court looks like in the Taliban controlled Afghanistan, and she was like, "What the fuck are we watching?" And I go, "This is after we left Afghanistan." Afghanistan, the Taliban immediately assumed power. And I immediately started giving her a rundown of kind of what happened with the Biden administration. She was like, yeah, I was alive for that. I remember a lot of that. And I was like, well, this is the Taliban. And whenever the man doesn't confess or he doesn't like, they're right now they're debating with someone who stole like a fruit. And they got this teenage boy. He's like, well, he's a teenager, but he looks like Yusuf Arafat. You know what I mean? He's got this huge beard and shit. It's not a mustache. You know what I mean? It's not filled in there. So he looks pretty young, but they have him take off his shoes, and they're all sitting crisscross applesauce like they're in first grade. And then they get a guy with a cat of nine tails, and they say he must be flogged in order to tell the truth. And then he's like, they get him to take his feet up, like they get him to hold under his legs, under his hamstring areas, and hold both of his feet up. And then they just start fucking. And they go like, tell us what you know, tell us, and then he's like, I didn't take it. And then they go, who did take it? Who did you see take it? And he goes, I didn't see anything. And then she was just, at this point, she goes, can we watch something else? And I go, okay, fine, yeah, I'll put on something else. And then I went into the related videos, and there was a silhouette of a man squatting next to the Ganges River, I believe defecating into the water supply. I immediately put it on, and she got really upset, and she was like, God damn it, turn this shit off. Here it is, the Yamuna, India's most polluted river. I love this music. She was just like, turn this shit off. The composition of the liquid has changed. It does not have any properties of water left. This sounds like Mario music when you're in the desert. Cleaning is very important. Yeah, they're just dipping their shit. This is gray water. The water looks gray. Oh, they're drinking it? I drink it, but they say it's bad for my health. Oh my god. He scoops a little bit out of this glass cup, and it's just brown. It's brown, not brown. It's black water. You know how there's gray water, like from It? This is black water.
In North India, begins high up in the Himalayas and teems with life for hundreds of kilometers.
For sure.
In the Indian capital, Delhi, it undergoes an astonishing transformation.
This is the Wajirabad barrage. This is the Yamuna enter up to this point.
This point,
Delhi.
it enters into Delhi.
Side, water is clean.
The water is clean. Before
water
barrage,
comes from the Himalaya region, origin of the Yamuna point.
he scoops it, and he's like, before this barrage into the city, it's perfectly clean.
22 kilometers
Okay. Basically, this is the same water.
Oh my god.
Okay. Before
He's holding up two glasses of water. One is before the barrage, and it's completely clear. One is after the barrage. I love his accent. And it's black. Ugh.
Yamuna is basically killed by the human activities.
Being killed by the human activities. In this water, there are heavy metals, toxic metals, pesticide. All are present. I love his accent. There's some guy wading into it.
Oxygen levels in parts of the river are zero.
Ugh.
No animal life can be sustained. But human life on the river continues.
Nice. Because we always find a way around, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why I'm talking about this, but ladies and gentlemen, I'll put that in the description if you want to watch something about it. We were originally talking about, Dakota Mortensen? Yeah, former boyfriend of Taylor Frankie Paul. I think he's having a time of it with this video getting released, quite frankly. I'm going to be honest with you. Who cares? Who's coming to save Dakota? Who's coming to save you? Folks, this exemplifies something beautiful and honestly just true about our current world. Who cares? Who is coming to save anybody? I have neighbors, like anybody. I routinely hear my neighbors fighting. There's this guy and gal. They live inside my building. They're always yelling at each other, throwing shit. The baby's crying. He goes outside and he speeds off in his Dodge while she calls somebody on the phone and cries for like a half hour. This is at 10 p.m. at fucking night. And you know something, folks? I never call the cops on them. Yes, I've reported them to the building manager and I think they're getting kicked out soon. But I have never, ever involved law enforcement because just like with any relationship, man beating on woman, woman beating on man, woman on woman, you gotta kind of let them tear each other apart. And eventually when the Tom and Jerry style fight, the cloud, the fists and the kicks and shit, they're like, and then the dust cloud settles and they both got, the boo-boos on their head. It's like the fucking, the big red knot that everybody sees. And one day they'll all get tired and walk out. And that's what you need to do for people. Let them figure it out one day. They're not yours to save. Domestic violence is an optional game that the player kind of chooses to play. But we all will get to that. You know what I mean? We all will learn that eventually. That's sort of a thing about this world. You have to let people burn their hands on the stove before they realize that it's hot. Let's talk about this first story because I just want to get into the fact that ABC is canceling The Bachelorette. We're engaging with the goy slop fully because this story, it says a lot about our culture. It says a lot about life. It says a lot about truth and happiness in this world. Let's just get to this first story. Go. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to cover this story that's sweeping the nation. Taylor Paul addresses the domestic violence allegations. ABC has canceled The Bachelorette, and the fallout around the entire situation is nasty. The reality television world, if you don't know, it's in a state of absolute shock this morning. ABC has took an unprecedented step of canceling the upcoming season of The Bachelorette just 3 days before its scheduled premiere. And the network pulled the plug on the 22nd season after a graphic video surfaced on Thursday. We're going to review it. We're going to play it. It's delicious. It is an incredible watch. It is an incredible watch. It surfaced Thursday, and it shows the show's lead. This season of The Bachelorette, if you don't know, was supposed to focus on Taylor Frankie Paul. And this video, if you haven't already seen it, it shows her in a violent physical altercation with her ex-boyfriend, Dakota Mortensen. The leaked footage was published by TMZ, and it reportedly dates back to 2023 and depicts Taylor Frankie Paul throwing chairs and kicking Mortensen while her young daughter is heard screaming and crying in the background. And I'm just going to be honest with you. I can hear him saying, "You hit your daughter." I can hear him saying those words. I can hear the baby crying. I don't know if that I can verify that you can see it hit the baby. I don't know if you can verify that exact thing. But what I'm trying to say is that it sounds really, really fucking bad for her. And the fallout from the video has been swift and devastating for her career. Beyond the cancellation of The Bachelorette, production of the 5th season of her hit show, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, has also been placed on an indefinite pause. Major brand partners, including Meta and Cinnabon, that's a major brand partner, have officially severed ties with the 31-year-old influencer, citing the disturbing nature of the domestic violence allegations. In a statement released through her representative, Paul's team pushed back, claiming that she's a survivor of years of silently suffering extensive mental and physical abuse, and that the leaked video is part of the, quote, destructive campaign by her ex to harm her. Might be. I believe all women. That's exactly why I campaign for Free Ghislaine. That's exactly why I campaign for Ruja Ignatova to be taken off of the FBI's most wanted list. I think that she's a queen. She got away with it. You guys couldn't catch her. And everybody claims that, some man killed her and fucking, they hate women. They hate women. If you think that she did not get away with it and she's dead, someone killed her and stole all her money. How, bitch? How, bitch? She went on a plane and she was never seen again. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, leave her be. She is a queen. Ruja Ignatova, I will always stand by you. You are the queen bee. Critics are now pointing the finger at ABC and its parent company, Disney. I've never heard of this Disney company, questioning why the network cast Paul as the romantic lead despite her well-documented 2023 arrest and ongoing probation for aggravated assault. That is a great question. I remember I had an aunt-like figure, and this woman, she was amazing. She was very kind to me, and she was, when I would go and I would hang out with, the dirtier side of life, because every kid, they love going to hang out at parties. They love going to trailer parks to hang out with their friends, the dirty kids, you know what I mean? I loved that region of the world, and oh my goodness, the White Earth Reservation was teeming with it. And I remember at one point, there was this aunt-like figure to me, and she was just the sweetest. She was an amazing person. She smoked cigarettes in her car with me. She was, she was what do the Ojibwa call an aunt? Well, I'm going to look this up so I don't get it wrong. What do the Ojibwa called their aunts. Okay, depends on whether she's on the mother's or the father's side. A parallel aunt, a Ninoshen, and the father's sister's cross aunt is called Nizigos, or Inzigos. Okay, whatever. Something like that. I don't remember exactly. She was that. She was an Ojibwa aunt. She was very sweet, and I appreciated her company. At one point, she ended up getting a boyfriend, and this guy we all didn't like. No one liked him. Everybody had their opinions and takes, but mostly it was because he was a former felon, not former, current felon, like couldn't own guns, like couldn't drive in a car with a gun and shit like that. It was a ridiculous situation. And I remember at one point, everybody gave her shit for this because he was out on parole. He was out of federal prison, and at the time she was like telling everybody, trying to convince him, oh my goodness, he just treats me so well, he's just so nice to me and whatnot. And I remember at one point my dad piped up at this, and he goes, I'm sure he's great to you, he's on parole. And I just remember I was like, okay, he's got a great point about that. He's got a fantastic point. You cannot trust people that are on probation, parole, either of those. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It is a nerve-wracking business. If you were not with them before they were in jail, if this is not like a dedicated marriage thing, if you went on, what is it, J Talk or something, the jail social media thing where you try to date inmates, if you went on that, or if you routinely go on that to try to get attention, you're a fun one, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know that they should have ever been hiring her, quite frankly. She was out on probation for aggravated assault. Legal experts and domestic violence advocates are calling the casting shocking and suggesting that the network prioritized the attention economy ratings over the contestants' safety. They're worried that she would have been on that show beating up the men. She would have been like, I don't like what you said, and like fucking smacked them, you know what I mean? Oh my God. They were worried that they were going to have, like, the talking cam or something like that, when they're allowed to go quietly into the face-to-face cam, and they just tell the audience what they're thinking. They were worried one of the guys was going to go into that stall and do that, and she was going to show up behind him with a garrote wire and choke him out on the stool. I'm not lying to you, ladies and gentlemen. She seems like a fun one. They are suggesting that the network prioritize the attention economy over the contestants' safety as the Draper City Police Department in Utah continues to investigate the fresh cross allegations of domestic assault between Paul and Mortensen from this past February. The reality TV landscape is left grappling with the loss and the collapse of one of its most anticipated and now most infamous seasons and television shows. Let's look at a clip from this. This is from her original show, I believe it is. This is her discussing the night that she got arrested. This is we're flashing back, ladies and gentlemen. We have to realize that this was embedded deep in her before any of this actually happened.
Getting arrested, it was the worst time of my life. I ended up being charged with aggravated assault with 3 years of probation. It's been a challenge going from the scandal to relationship to miscarriage to arrest to being pregnant again.
Being pregnant again.
Let's talk.
Is that a great idea? Getting pregnant again? Oh, okay, ladies and gentlemen. We got, is it Harvey? Yes, from TMZ. This Big Fun Jay to inform us about the situation. Run it down for us, Harvey.
So ABC has canceled The Bachelorette, which is crazy when you think about it, that the show was supposed to premiere Sunday night, and it has been heavily promoted, even promoted during the Oscars. So what led to it is very clear. It was the video we posted this morning, a Thursday, on TMZ, where you see Taylor attacking Dakota, putting him in a chokehold, throwing 3 bar stools at him, one of them ricocheting and hitting one of their children, or one of her children.
What did he do to deserve it?
She doesn't go over to the child to help the child. She continues going after Dakota.
The kid will be fine.
This video is the basis of the criminal prosecution a few years ago where she pled guilty to aggravated assault. She is currently on probation for that, and the probation means she needs to keep her nose clean until this coming August. The problem is, 3 weeks ago, there was another incident, and Dakota has filed a protective order saying that she attacked him at her home and in a car. Now, she is saying it was the opposite, that he attacked her. But she's on probation, and they could try and violate her probation if they believe that she was the attacker, because that would be a violation of law. So as for ABC, they really could not withstand the tidal wave that came from this video, because even though people had talked about the incident on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, talking about it is one thing. Seeing it is a very different
thing. Just because it's out of sight, out of mind, now that we can't avoid it, now that we can't ignore it, that sucks. All right.
Hard to watch.
Yeah, it's hard to watch.
The idea of
well, we're gonna watch it.
That video against somebody handing somebody a rose and sweetly romancing them just did not align for ABC.
That aligns perfectly.
So ABC is pulling the plug in the show.
Suddenly, Disney decides to get some values.
So there is fallout here, and I am talking fallout in the many, many millions of dollars. We are told there is already a fight going on between ABC and Warner Brothers Discovery over who's to blame for this. Now, we have already reported that...
How about the woman who threw the chair at her kid?
It seems that the producers who cast Taylor had a case of willful blindness because a lot of this was readily available. They may not have seen the video, but they knew about the incident, and it was pretty clear, it was easy to find, that she had pled guilty to felony aggravated assault. So that certainly should have been a clue. And
pleading guilty doesn't always mean that you're guilty.
So there is a lot of finger-pointing going on right now between ABC and Warner Brothers Discovery. So let's talk about some of the fallout. Number one, only one show, the show that was supposed to air Sunday night, is in the can. There are 3 other episodes in various forms of edit, but they're not completed. And then some of them have been basically untouched. They're going to have to fire a very big staff of post-production people because the plug has been pulled on the show. So
I'd
there
hope.
are other things, and this is one of the biggest, that ABC has what they call trade-outs on the show. That's when you'll see an airline or a hotel or some venue or brand where they're featured on the show. These brands, these companies pay big money for these trade-outs. But what they get in return is FaceTime on the network. Well, now that the show has been shelved, they're not going to get that FaceTime. And if they don't get that FaceTime...
And that was going to be huge for Space Aliens, because I knew that they filmed that in Fargo. They had the Bachelorette do like a speed dating thing where like they were like, all right, what would you order at Space Aliens? What would they... She had to sit at the table, and then they all had to come in there and like, I don't know, eat some spiced fries or something.
Then
it's going to suck for them.
ABC's going to have to either return the money or not get the money they were expecting. And that's going to be a huge, huge loss for ABC.
And Space Aliens.
A couple of other things. This show cost around $2 million an episode, and the whole show has been shot. So somebody is going to have to shoulder that, ABC or Warner Brothers Discovery. And they are already fighting over who is to blame, who should have seen what either they didn't see or didn't want to see with Taylor. And finally, the person they get for The Bachelor is usually the top 4 contenders on The Bachelorette. We are told that producers already pretty much had an idea of who the top 2 contenders were going to be. A lot of it is based on audience reaction and popularity, but they had a pretty good idea of who they were going to be. Well, you pick people because they're famous as a result of being on The Bachelorette. But because these people have no visibility, they're no longer viable contenders to become The Bachelor. So now the producers have to start from scratch in casting The Bachelor.
They'll be
And
fine.
Either it's going to delay production, we're told, or they're going to have to pick somebody who was on one of the past shows, and we're told that could be problematic for ratings. So all in all, this is just a fiasco.
A fiasco. Well, you know what's the real fiasco? The actual video that me and you are going to listen to right now. Let's get to it.
Yeah, look at you. Look.
She's shoving him.
Yeah, look. This is called physical abuse. Yeah.
She's like trying to drag him down. I'll put him in a headlock.
Yeah. See, Taylor, this is all you do. It's the only thing you know how to do is hurt me. Huh? And you think this is okay? It's not okay. Holy Let me go.
Holy, she's kicking him so that he can't leave the apartment. Ooh, threw a bar stool at him. Oh, and then her daughter's sitting right there on the couch.
Daughter is right here.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh, it looks like she hit the kid. God, she's a nut. She's possessed. Do you hear that?
Stop, Taylor. You're done. Taylor.
Holy shit.
That is it. No more. You're done.
You're done.
Stop.
She keeps going, you did this.
This is your own pain. You're doing this. Stop. No.
Holy shit. Mommy, shut up. Your mom never hit your new dad?
Taylor. I'm done with you. I'm done. Stop.
Holy shit. She is demon possessed.
Your daughter just got hit in the head with a metal chair.
He just said, your daughter just got hit in the head with a metal chair.
No, you.
And she goes, because of you.
Now, help your daughter, Taylor. Oh my God.
She sounds horny.
Did you throw another chair?
She sounds demon possessed. She sounds like she's into this. Do you hear her going, you did this? You did. She's like heavy breathing. That's so like, what the fuck? That is like demon possessed. That is like what she is grabbed by an unearthly spirit.
You okay? Taylor! Get help her. Stop doing this. Dude, think of your kids. Gosh.
Stay away from my daughter.
I don't care. I love your kids. Yeah, I do. I freaking love them to death. No, yeah, I don't care. Look what you're doing to me. No, nobody deserves it. You're not okay. You're drunk. I will. What? Gosh.
Answering the door or something?
Taylor, stop. Stop. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
She is hammered. I'm sober. Taylor, stop. Taylor.
The cop comes in.
I just want to be able to talk to you without
Body cam footage. She's out on the porch.
Okay. So go ahead.
God,
Or whichever.
she is an FUW. If you don't know what that means, FUW, fat ugly whore, fat ugly whore. She's not even that fat, but she carries it in her face. Fat ugly whore, man. That is one of my favorite terms. Fat ugly whore.
So what's your name? Taylor. I'm Officer Rubegrecht with the Harriman Police Department. The neighbors called in saying they heard a bunch of yelling. Your last name Paul.
Yeah, I'm like hurting.
You know what? Just from the the voice alone, I'm on his side. I'm like, do whatever you can to make it shut. Just clap it shut.
You're what?
I'm emotionally hurting. I'm not physically hurting. I'm emotionally hurting.
Like that is an uppercut for the, you know, the sleep button is right on your chin. That is an uppercut to put her to sleep kind of a voice.
So your last name is just Paul?
Yep.
Okay.
Taylor, I'm sending you to the moon.
I hit him.
God, her hair is ratty.
They bought it. Can I get a drink, please?
Oh, I bet you want a drink.
Promise not to talk to him while we go in there.
Sure.
I just don't want anything escalating to an argument or fight while we go in there. Okay?
Okay.
So you went out on a girls' night. You said that, right?
Yeah, he came pick me up from girls' night.
And then what happened?
And he was me out the way home.
About, so when you describe that to me, about what?
I guess having fun with the girls. And he was going to a concert, but he was like, we're not going to the concert now. And he came home. And then we were fighting. We were fighting at each other. And then he like, I was going at him, I guess hitting him, and then he pushed me.
He pushed me. I was going at him and he pushed me.
And then I fought back, and then we were just fighting, and I just let him out.
Oh my god, he clearly didn't do enough because your jaw still works.
Where did the kids go?
Oh, why do you sound like that?
Leave.
You sound like you're in Looney Tunes. What the fuck?
Being bombarded, stealing my keys. She's jumping on my truck, slamming my doors. Like I think my
So
truck
is that
doors.
your white truck?
Yeah, I think my truck doors broke. Like she's on top of my truck jumping. Like, dude, I can't even believe what just happened.
You want? Let's go look at your truck.
I'm just like lost in words.
Whew.
Trying to explain is that so she's going through a lot right now. Yeah, with her divorce and stuff. Like, I think that's just been really hard on her. And she hasn't done any therapy.
And that's a different relationship.
Yeah.
Different relationship.
Yeah, so, and that wasn't
God, I love this. Guys, sexual freedom, jumping from relationship to relationship, all great ideas and good things in our modern society that we're kind of encouraging through social media, through friendships, all this bullshit. People are like, yeah, go sleep around. If he's an asshole, go cheat on him or some shit. By the way, the STD rates in Houston are still embarrassing. Still really bad, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be sticking it in anything, and don't be letting anybody put it in you. That's the biggest lesson to take away.
So it's very fresh. So we got in a relationship like really pretty soon after her divorce. And so that's why it's been hard. It's just been like a lot, I think, for her.
Okay.
And
That's a test drive. No. Anybody who has like anybody who's like going through a divorce or whatever, they're a highly volatile person. They're a test drive. You go have sex with them. You do not like get to know their kids. You do not do that. When a person is like going through a time in their life, they're too volatile. You have to stay away. Like get away and formulate your own life. You're going to be a lot happier without like a log. You know what I mean? Kind of dragging you down. This is somebody who has a lot of emotional baggage that they need to work through.
yeah, I think she's going through a lot. She's the type to where, it's hard for her, I think, to get help. You know, like
Hard for her to get help. All right, he sounds too understanding, ladies and gentlemen. Let's cover her brief response. Taylor Paul, ladies and gentlemen, she says, it's been a heavy time. She's responding to the recent headlines about alleged domestic violence incidents with her ex-boyfriend, and she's sharing what the future looks like for her on the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Let's go ahead and play her response.
I want to give you the opportunity to respond to recent headlines about the alleged domestic violence incident with your ex-boyfriend. What do you want to share
Oh,
with
she's
us
so
about
unprepared.
this?
Honestly, it's been a heavy time to see the headlines, especially during this time of The Bachelorette being released, and it's supposed to be a really exciting time. I'm a
Those cheekbones are not real.
person that will always speak my truth, and that's what
And if they are, they're embarrassing and gaunt. She looks like a skeleton from Undertale.
I'm known for, and so when the time is right, I will be. But right now, just trying to be in the present moment and focus on this. But the thing is my kids do come first. Mm-hmm. My kids come first, and so it's been like
Yeah.
just a back and forth process, trying to be here in the present moment.
My kids come first when it comes to the line of getting your ass beat with bar furniture. I love that. She's like, my kids come first when it comes to getting a welt on their forehead.
Worrying about, home and headlines. It's been stressful.
She beats her children, I bet, ladies and gentlemen. This is all alleged, and it's a satirical show. But she should be investigated for domestic violence on her children. Because I feel as though those children are not happy. I feel as though anybody who can be physical with their partner is absolutely capable of being physical with their children. You should never doubt someone's capabilities of violence. It's absolute and within all of us, quite frankly. If someone is willing to let themselves get to that degree of anger, they're a dangerous person and you need to stay away from them or be ready to defend yourself. Her children need to be taken away from her. Taylor, Frankie, Paul's children need to be taken away from her. She is a horrible mother from everything that I've seen of her. And she needs to be probably thrown in a jail cell.
Well, to be honest, we did reach out to Dakota, and we did not for a statement. We did not get a response from him.
She's so angry.
That The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives has paused production on the next season. I know there's a season on right now, and then season 5 was in production. Mm-hmm. Reports say it's paused.
She's so sad.
Is that true?
Honestly, I don't call the shots with production, so as of now,
Is it paused, though?
That it also has been paused, but I do not call those shots, so as far as I know, it was, but I don't know for how long and why.
I know you're one of the executive producers on the show.
Yeah, I got told that this year.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I didn't know, and I was like, what is
I didn't know I was an executive producer.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
I think just because we share our lives and we produce our own, lives.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that necessarily what that means. Really.
And how do you envision your future on that show?
Hard to say now, right? Just because of everything going on. It's hard to see past this. I'm not gonna lie. In this moment, it's just so heavy. When your life is broadcasted out there in these headlines, it's like the end of the world. Right. That's what it feels like. I'm not going to lie.
It's not just in headlines. It's in a video of you beating on your boyfriend and accidentally hitting your kid and not giving a shit about it. You are one of my favorite queens, and you're up for Person of the Year of 2026 so far. I know it's only March, and that's hard to predict, but the zeitgeisties next year are going to be hot. Our award show come back next year, where she might be a hot contender for Person of the Year.
But I will say I've been here before, and I got through it, and shared my story, my light, so I'm hoping that I can do that again.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that I can do that again to make a lot of people's lives better. I love her. She is the light that we all need in our lives, ladies and gentlemen. Taylor, Frankie, Paul. Domestic abuser, Mormon, I guess. I don't know. I don't know much about her except for her children need to be taken away. And even CPS, the children kidnappers, would be able to understand that. The people that make you disappear into the foster care system, you know what I mean? Even they'd understand that this is an abusive system, you know what I mean? Ladies and gentlemen, we should jump on over to Iran updates. Why not? More countries. They are allegedly going to be helping us in the Strait of Hormuz. There's Iran also hitting Kuwait refineries. This is a lot of shit that's going down. Also, Trump saying that there are currently no leaders in Iran left to talk to. Let's jump into Iran. More countries could help take the Strait of Hormuz as the conflict in the Middle East enters its third week. The coalition of the willing, tasked with breaking the Iranian blockade in the Strait of Hormuz, appears to be in a state of high-stakes diplomatic limbo. President Trump has significantly ramped up the pressure on global allies, warning that NATO faces a very bad future if its members don't step up to help secure the waterway, which, if you didn't know, handles 20% of the world's oil. While the White House claims to be in a state of preparatory planning with several nations, the actual military commitments from all of our traditional heavyweight reliant people like the UK, Japan, Australia, they're mostly out of reach for the administration at the time. In a rare show, though, of unified caution, several key allies have issued a joint statement this week expressing readiness to contribute, but pointedly stopped short of promising warships or troops. Italy, Germany, and France, what a crew to have on your side, have clarified their help is likely reserved for the post-conflict phase rather than the immediate combat. Meanwhile, the UK is reportedly considering the deployment of aerial mine-hunting drones as a defensive move intended to clear the gauntlet without being drawn into the direct naval fire that has already paralyzed about 95% of commercial traffic in the region. Okay, let's hear a little bit about this.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu now says his country will hold off on more attacks on Iranian gas fields as the president has requested. Good evening, I'm Steve Eager. That announcement came after Iran responded to an Israeli attack on its gas field by attacking energy facilities across the Persian Gulf. Meanwhile, today, Japan said it would be willing to help secure a key waterway in the Persian Gulf to ease the growing global energy crisis caused by the war. Though only the UK has sent assets to protect the Strait of Hormuz. The president, who started the war without seeking the backing of NATO allies, took aim at NATO countries for not being willing to help.
Defending the Strait for everybody else, and then in the case of NATO, they don't want to help us defend the Strait, and they're the ones that need it. But now they're getting much nicer.
The Pentagon is asking Congress for $200 billion to fund the war. Lawmakers are already debating, juxtaposing concerns about protecting the country versus paying for a war that was never voted on. As the war continues, Americans are feeling the impact of the gas pump. Oil prices jumped again this morning before dropping later in the day. Fox 4 Stephen Dial in studio after talking with an oil expert about if you should continue to brace for rising prices. Stephen.
Short answer is yes.
Yeah.
Today from the Oval Office,
Yay.
President Trump said that he thought gas prices would be worse. The president saying Americans may have to feel the brunt of the war, but thinks that the world will be much safer at his conclusion.
Because we're winning.
It's going to be over with pretty soon.
Thursday,
We're winning.
President Trump once again fielding questions about the war with Iran and the impact it's having on the American consumer.
I actually thought the numbers would be worse. I thought that it would go up more than it did. But we're doing this excursion, and when it's completed, we're going to have a much safer world.
Oil prices surged overnight as Iran intensified attacks on oil and gas facilities. The latest round of strikes came in response to the Israeli air attack on an Iranian natural gas field. This morning, the oil prices topped out at $119 a barrel, up from about $70 before the war started.
Yikes.
I spoke to the president of an independent oil and gas operating company about what he expects in the near future.
We could see prices go way up. I mean, $150 to $200 a barrel really soon if this disruption doesn't stop, or we don't find a solution, which I don't think we're going to see a solution anytime soon.
I would have to agree with him. Let's hear from Trump directly about whether or not we're going to have anybody even to talk to, because we're slaughtering them by the hundreds.
All those attacks that we're hitting those guys with, and they don't know what's happening. Their Navy's gone, their Air Force is gone, their anti-aircraft is all gone. It's all gone. Their radar is all gone. Their leaders are all gone. The next set of leaders are all gone. And the next set of leaders are mostly gone. And now nobody wants to be a leader over there anymore. We're having a hard time. We want to talk to them, and there's nobody to talk to. We have nobody to talk to. And you know what? We like it that way.
We like it that way. We like it that we have nobody to talk to. I honestly, I don't know that we're going to love it when Iran itself becomes a kind of hotbed for these Al-Qaeda, excuse me. I know when people love when I use the proper pronunciations, the Al-Qaeda groups. When it becomes a hotbed for terrorist organizations because they have no centralized government, and maybe like we get to see what the Persian version of the Taliban looks like. God, that's going to be exciting and fun, right? Meanwhile, Trump is having the audacity to ask for an additional, also the Pentagon, mostly the Trump administration, let's call it what it is. The Trump administration is asking for an additional $200 billion for the war with Iran. I thought we were close to winning.
Back here in the U.S., the Pentagon is now preparing to ask Congress for $200 billion to keep funding the war in Iran. The administration already saying the first week cost $11 billion alone, more than $1 billion a day. Some lawmakers asking tonight, if the president now says this is going to end soon, why are you asking for $200 billion more from taxpayers?
You don't need it.
At the moment today, President Trump and Japan's prime minister. The president was asked why he didn't tell U.S. allies before attacking Iran. He jokingly brought up Pearl Harbor.
Okay, this was funny. That was authentically funny.
Tonight, the Pentagon
when he brought up Pearl Harbor, well, they didn't tell us about Pearl Harbor. That was authentically funny. I'm not going to give him shit for that. And she didn't look like she knew how to respond. It was fine. It was perfectly fine. It was a good joke, and it'll go down in history as a great presidential joke. I'm sorry.
preparing to ask Congress for an additional $200 billion to fund the war in Iran. A massive number Secretary Pete Hegseth says might not even be final.
I think that number could move, obviously. It takes money to kill bad guys.
The request comes 3 weeks into the war. The Pentagon says the first week alone cost more than $11 billion. President Trump has said it will end soon. So today, reporters asking why he needs so much more money for this fight.
So we can win.
Almost over. Why is the Pentagon going to ask Congress for an additional $200 billion?
Well, we're asking for a lot of reasons beyond even what we're talking about in Iran. This is a very volatile world.
On Capitol Hill, the $200 billion request catching many members of Congress.
You know what that means? It means we have more plans. We have more third world countries to topple. We need money. We need money in order to establish these coups. How do you think we got it done in Panama? How do you think we got it done in other countries? You know what? I'm just going to be honest.
Congress off guard. The president launched this war without seeking their approval. Now lawmakers from both parties demanding details before they write that check.
They need to come clean with the American people before they ask for $200 billion.
The president didn't consult American allies before going to war either. Today, as Trump welcomed Japan's prime minister to the Oval Office, a Japanese reporter asking why Japan wasn't given a heads up. Trump's response shocking the prime minister.
It's so
as he
funny.
invokes Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor.
Why didn't you tell U.S. allies in Europe and Asia, like Japan, about the war before attacking Iran? So we are very confused about three Japanese citizens.
Well, one thing, you don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay? Right? He's asking me, do you believe in surprise?
Oh, that's so
I think
funny.
much more so than us.
The Japanese prime minister sitting there watching.
She's
as the president
fine.
Spoke. And again, David, the president asking for that additional $200 billion.
She's the first female prime minister. She'll be fine.
$11 billion in just the
She's
first
tough.
week.
She's
David,
the
that's
Iron
more than
Lady.
$1 billion a day.
Mary Bruce tonight. Mary, thank you.
Mary, thank you tonight. Appreciate it, Mary. Ladies and gentlemen, they've also hit the Kuwait refinery. I'm going to play just a brief clip of that.
An Iranian news agency released footage on Friday of the country's Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps launching missiles from an undisclosed location.
Why not?
As the U.S.-Israeli war on Iran showed no sign of ending. Kuwait's state oil firm said a refinery had suffered multiple drone attacks, setting some units alight. Shrapnel from Iranian missiles damaged residential areas of the Israeli city of Rehovot. Israel's military said it had attacked government facilities in Tehran. Iranian state TV said the deputy head of public relations for the IRGC had been killed.
That sucks. That sucks to be them, man. I don't know what else to say. It does. It really does, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, the urgency for the international solution by maybe next week or, you know, within the next few months at the very least. I don't feel like we're willing to go into a years-long war. It's driven a split in the global energy market. The United States and Israeli strikes under Operation Fury have hammered the Iran's conventional navy. Tehran has responded with the vetting system that allows the tiny subset of vessels to pass through its territorial waters while blocking everyone else. This chokehold has also sent oil prices skyrocketing past $110 a barrel, forcing countries like Japan to dip into their strategic reserves for the first time since the 2022 invasion of Ukraine. For listeners at home, ladies and gentlemen, you need to be nervous because it's going to affect you directly. The standoff in the Strait, it's not just your it's not just your conflict where you're going to see flags, you know what I mean? You're going to see maybe a very patriotic 4th of July. You are going to pay for it directly out of your taxes, out of your what runs in your your car's engine. Literally, everything that you rely on in your life is going to become more expensive. I think that record-breaking prices are not far off. I'm not trying to say this to make people nervous. I'm just saying that it's very, very likely that this is where we're headed. Take that as you will, ladies and gentlemen. Who knows? I could be 100% wrong. But you know what I'm not wrong about? I'm not wrong about the rapid-fire section of today's headlines. That transition was really smooth. Let's cover a few of today's biggest headlines that we don't have enough time to dedicate 3 to 4 paragraphs to, but we need to cover in order to keep your media diet healthy. Let's go. What do we got here? There is breaking news that Chuck Norris died at the age of 86 after being hospitalized. I saw something about his hospitalization. It said he was in good spirits. It said he was doing fine.
Oh, and we are following some breaking news, a very sad breaking news update right now, as we have learned that legendary actor Chuck Norris has died at the age of 86. The information here coming in from his family a short time ago, and I want to pop this up on your screen. This is a post from TMZ reporting the news first, saying, quote, Chuck Norris has died at 86. We do have video right here that I want to pop up on your screen of some of his previous appearances that were filmed by our different Fox affiliates, as his family posted on his official page on Instagram, which has about 3 million followers. They said, quote, it is with heavy hearts that our family shares the sudden passing of our beloved Chuck Norris yesterday morning. While we would like to keep the circumstances private, please know that he was surrounded by his family and was at peace. To the world, he was a martial artist, actor, and a symbol of strength. To us, he was a devoted husband, a loving father and grandfather, an incredible brother, and the heart of our family.
And a dedicated Republican.
Faith, purpose, and an unwavering commitment to the people he loved. Through his work, discipline, and kindness, he inspired millions around the world and left a lasting impact on so many lives. While our hearts are broken, we are deeply grateful for the life he lived and for the unforgettable moment.
Look at how skinny he was near the end, and people give me shit for not eating. People are like, man, you should eat something. It's like, excuse me, I have more like actual meat on me than Chuck Norris did by the end.
We were blessed to share with him. The love and support he received from fans around the world meant so much to him, and our family is truly thankful for it. To him, you are not just fans, you were his friends.
Nice.
We know many of you had heard about his recent hospitalization, and we are truly grateful for the prayers and support you sent his way. As we grieve this loss, we kindly ask for privacy for our family during this time. Thank you for loving him with us. With love, the Norris family. Again, Chuck Norris dead at the age of 86. His family confirming that in that social media post to his 3 million followers on Instagram. As you heard there, they want to keep private the cause of death, but of course we'll keep you up.
I need to know ASAP. If we can know about a U.S. Kid dying in Spain, this is a missing American student. He was found dead in Spain. Devastating news. If we can know about him, then why can't we know about how Chuck Norris died? He was an American icon. This 20-year-old, Jimmy Gracie, he went missing early Tuesday morning after a night with his friends in Barcelona, and that's really sad. 20-year-old, so he's not a teen. He's just a student. Family and friends are have been desperately searching for clues, and they found his body by the popular beach where he was last seen. NBC News, Molly Hunter in Barcelona.
Tonight, after a frantic 3-day search, police recovered the body of 20-year-old Jimmy Gracie from the water off this popular Barcelona beach. His friends tell NBC News this is where they last saw him partying at 3 a.m. Tuesday morning, and nothing seems suspicious. Since then, they've been putting up posters in hopes someone may have seen him.
This is Shoko. It is super popular with young tourists who come here to Barcelona. And I just want to show you how close it is to the beach and to the water here.
Right there.
Divers, boats and helicopters have been scouring the area, desperately searching for clues.
We're on the beach now, about 300 feet from where Shoko is. And police tell NBC News that Jimmy Gracie's body was recovered just off the coast this afternoon.
The Chicago area native, a junior at the University of Alabama, traveled to Barcelona for spring break to visit friends studying abroad. Gracie's aunt, Beth Marin O'Reilly, spoke to NBC News last night.
I think everybody would want a brother or a nephew like Jimmy. He's a great kid. He's responsible.
He's a leader.
Today, members of Gracie's fraternity, Theta Chi, rallied together. The president of the chapter, who's also in Barcelona, described Gracie as a beloved brother and a man of upstanding character. And earlier today, Jimmy's family released a statement saying they were grateful for the kindness and concern that people showed their family.
Did we not get any cause of death?
And thank people for holding their family in their thoughts and prayers.
How did he die?
Molly Hunter for us. We thank you for...
Sucks. Maybe he drowned or something. Whatever. Let's cover this. U.S. domestic politics, voter ID. This is domestically. We're having some issues. President Trump is pushing aggressively for stricter voter ID legislation, as we all are already covering with the SAVE Act. There's also a major farm bill, while also advocating for lighter federal regulations on artificial intelligence, of course, because he's got those big tech buddies. And I think that's exactly why they're trying to anoint Vance, because they realize that Peter Thiel has funded his entire thing. He's completely bought out by tech, and that will issue in the tech future of America once we get the Vance administration. The government shutdown also is continuing to disrupt travel and security. Funding impasse is partially shut down. The Department, God, I gotta stop throwing words together, of the Homeland Security, leaving the TSA workers unpaid, causing widespread airport disruptions. Combined with the rising fuel costs from the Iran crisis, this is creating a public frustration and political pressure on Congress to act. We also have an unprecedented March heat wave across the western and central United States that's shattering temperature records. Scientists saying such extremes would be nearly impossible without climate change. Love it. Very, very fun. Rising temperatures. Who doesn't love it? We'll cover that eventually a little bit later, but, we'll cover more as it comes out. But we're going to go on over to our next and final story. Protein is taking over the food industry. What do we know about it? Grocery stores are undergoing a structural renovation this spring as a protein-forward eating is moving from the gym bros to the everyday dinner table. According to the 2026 industry report, over 70% of Americans now say they're actively seeking more protein in their diets, up nearly 20% in just 3 years. The shift has turned protein from a fitness niche into a table stake for the food manufacturers. From protein-infused bottled coffee and protein ramen to high-protein toaster waffles, brands are racing to fortify traditional snacks and meals to meet consumer bases that increasingly are obsessed with satiating muscle maintenance and a sustained energy. The driving force behind this boom is a fascinating mix of medical trends and cultural shifts. Experts are pointing to skyrocketing popularity of GLP-1 weight loss medications. Yuck. Don't be doing that shit. Otherwise, you'll lose your skeletal structure. You'll get osteoporosis at an early age. They're calling this a major catalyst. Users of these drugs often require high-protein, nutritious, dense meals in smaller portions to serve and preserve muscle mass while eating less. This has created a massive market gap for micro meals or functional beverages, as the recent Natural Product Expo West dairy innovation took center stage with creating infused creatine yogurt and cottage cheese-based pizza crusts. What the fuck? Proving that even the most traditional aisles are being re-engineered for the modern protein-maxing lifestyle. The protein takeover isn't without its powdered bars, all that other bullshit. It's seeing significant returns to premium animal proteins also. Plant-based alternatives have plateaued. Consumers are increasingly trading up for high-quality, minimally processed meals like Wagyu beef blends, tinned fish, and even duck. It is turning, these white linen restaurant type meals into everyday grocery aisle classics. What are we talking about? I don't like the protein craze. This bullshit where people are putting scoops of dust in their drinks, all this shit. Megan Thee is doing a Dunkin' Donuts ad. What are we doing?
All right, now that's Megan Thee Stallion pumping up the protein in her Dunkin' ad, taking part in the great...
If you're going to Dunkin' for something healthy, you're already in the wrong place, wrong time, wrong everything.
Protein is taking over the food industry, and it's moving beyond
meat and dairy. Even popular packaged foods are getting a big protein upgrade. And Sam, you have more on that.
Protein here, there, and everywhere, Robin. It's right. Kraft just announced a new Power Mac version of their popular mac and cheese. Okay, it's the same blue box, the same cheese powder, but now 17 grams of protein per serving. Hitting store shelves nationwide in April. Now, they tell us it took them nearly a year to get the taste right, and Kraft isn't the only ones packing protein punch into our comfort food. Now, Doritos has a protein version with 10 grams. Doritos. Super pretzels, soft pretzels, 10 grams of protein. General Mills is partnering with sports nutrition brand Ghost on their Lucky Charms and Cinnamon Toast Crunch protein cereals.
What
with
the
17
fuck?
grams per serving. PepsiCo's Pop-Tarts also have protein with 10 grams. From ice cream to soda to Dunkin', proteins is suddenly everywhere. So the question is, Robin, is any of it actually good for you? And is it okay to eat all at the same time?
Probably
It's
not.
More magically delicious.
Jesus.
Oh, Lord, where to start? Okay. Well, I think there's a few things going on. First of all, we have this GLP craze. A lot of people are losing weight very fast. And when you lose weight quickly, you can also lose lean muscle mass. And so there is a real push to look for ways to get more protein in your diet because of that. Second, we have the new nutrition recommendations come out from RFK. Those
Hell
actually
yeah.
the protein recommendations from 0.8 grams per kilogram per day of body weight to 1.2 to 1.6 grams per kilogram, which
Hell
is a
yeah.
big leap up. And then third, we just see this massive social media marketing push. It's trending everywhere on TikTok, protein.
Well, we all know protein is essential, but can you overdose on it?
So protein is really important. It's important for enzymes, our muscle function, our hormones. It's important to get enough. And probably most of us don't get enough. When you look at the amounts for a male, for example, we're talking about 80 to 110 grams per day. That's the new recommendation for women, 70 to 90, and for kids, anywhere from 20 to 50. But the people who have to be a little bit concerned about protein, those with chronic kidney disease, it can increase the risk of kidney problems if you have underlying problems with your kidneys. Also dehydration, some digestive or gastrointestinal distress. But there is no real upper ceiling that we have for protein amount.
And all those foods we talk about processed foods. Then you add protein to processed foods. Does that make them healthier?
No.
No.
So what should people prioritize as their protein source?
Whole foods. Whole foods is always going to be the push. So you want to try to get your protein from tofu, beans, legumes, nuts, seeds, chicken, lean chicken, and turkey.
She is encouraging just the soy boy shit. She's like tofu.
Fish. That's where you want to try to get it from. Greek yogurt. Not so much from the mac and cheese or the Pop-Tarts. You have to be wary because obviously those things...
What's this pussy liberal shit? If I want to get my protein from a Pop-Tart, I'm going to get it from a Pop-Tart.
Processed. They may have sugars, additives, all
Eggs.
kinds of other things you don't want to be eating, and you're missing out on the fiber, vitamins, minerals, all the other things that come from whole, real foods. So for anyone listening who's, jumping to grab the Pop-Tarts, I know a few people.
I don't eat
Maybe
vegetables.
be a little cautious.
Yeah. Are you guys into the protein craze? You know anybody who is?
I'm into the protein craze, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope you are too. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you had a wonderful day. I hope that you have a wonderful Friday. You got a lot of the rest of the day to look forward to. You got the weekend. I hope that you enjoy it as much as anybody could. I enjoyed putting these stories together for you. If you want more of it, we'll be back Monday. We do Monday through Friday. Subscribe if you want to be there for that broadcast. Like if you liked it. In the meantime, this has been Ollie Vogt Larson with Your Brain on Air. Thank you so very much for listening. I'll catch you in the next broadcast, and bye-bye.